The day my son was born, I thought my life had finally found meaning. He was small, fragile, but his eyes felt like he already understood everything I had yet to learn. I named him Ethan. And from that moment, he became my entire world. Not my parents. Not my sister. Just him. But I didn't know, the same family I trusted with my life was slowly preparing to take everything from me. It started with silence. In our house, love was never spoken. It was expected. But after Ethan was born, I expected things to change. At first, they came. Smiled. Took photos. Then slowly, they stopped coming. Calls became rare. And every excuse sounded the same. We're busy with Chloe's wedding. My sister Chloe always came first. Even before my son. Even before anything that actually mattered. Then came the night everything broke. Cold rain. Dark sky. One of those nights in the UK that feels heavier than life itself. Ethan had a fever. At first, I didn't panic. But by midnight, his breathing changed. Fast. Shallow. I carried him to the hospital alone. No one answered my calls. Not my mother. Not my father. Not Chloe. The hospital lights were too bright. Doctors were running. Machines were beeping. And I was just standing there, holding his tiny hand, praying he would open his eyes. But instead, everything stopped. No words. No warning. Just silence. My son was gone. 5 years old. Gone. And I remember thinking, how does the world keep moving after something like this? The funeral was scheduled 3 days later. I called my parents. No answer. I texted Chloe. She replied hours later. Sorry, I'm busy with wedding arrangements. I can't come. I stared at that message for a long time. Waiting for it to feel like a mistake. It wasn't. The funeral day arrived. Gray sky. Cold wind. Empty cemetery. I stood there alone with a small white coffin. Too small for a child. Too heavy for a father. No family. No parents. No sister. Just silence watching me break. After the burial, I didn't cry. Not because I was strong. But because something inside me had shut down. I whispered to his grave. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you. And for the first time, I felt something snap inside my chest. 2 days later, my mother finally messaged. Not a call. Just text. Hope everything went okay. We were busy with wedding planning. Not even his name. Not even sorry. Just that. And I knew then, something in my family was deeply wrong. Then came something I never expected. A letter. Legal documents. A trust fund in Ethan's name. $950,000. Left by my late grandmother for his future. Education. Life. Everything he would need. My hands were shaking. For the first time since his death, I felt a small spark of hope. At least something of him still mattered. That hope didn't last. Because the next day, my father called. First time in weeks. His voice was calm. Too calm. We need to talk about Ethan's trust fund. My stomach dropped. Something was wrong. Then he said it. Chloe's wedding costs had gone out of control. And they needed money. Then came the words I will never forget. Ethan's trust is just sitting there. He's gone. I didn't speak. I couldn't. Because in that moment, I realized they weren't talking about my son. They were talking about money. That night, I didn't sleep. I kept replaying everything. The empty funeral. The missed calls. The message about wedding plans. And now this. Something inside me didn't just break. It changed. The next morning, I went to the bank. My hands were still shaking. But my voice was steady. Can anyone access my son's trust fund? The manager looked at me. No. Only you. Good. Because for the first time, I had control. When I came home, my phone was full of messages. My mother. You're overreacting. This is family money too. My sister Chloe. Don't ruin my wedding over emotions. Emotions. That word. Like my son's life was just a feeling. Not real. Not important. Just emotions. I replied once. You didn't come to his funeral. Silence. Then my father called. Angry this time. You're destroying this family. And I laughed. Because I finally understood something. There was nothing left to destroy. They had already done that. That evening, I went to Ethan's grave again. I sat there for a long time. Then I said quietly, they think you don't matter anymore. I will make sure they never forget you. And for the first time in days, I felt calm. Not happy. Just calm. The next step changed everything. I contacted a solicitor. And I locked the trust. Legally. Completely. No access. No wedding. No excuses. When my father found out, he exploded. You humiliated this family. But I didn't respond. Because fear was gone. Completely gone. Then came the final message from Chloe. I hope you're happy ruining my future. I stared at it for a long time. Then I typed. My son lost his future. You didn't even show up to say goodbye. Before you judge this story, ask yourself something. Have you ever been betrayed by your own family like this? Or seen something like this happen in real life? Tell me in the comments. And if this story hit you, subscribe to Claim Drama Stories for more emotional real-life dramas. Because some stories are not just stories. They are warnings.